This is the Sigma 16mm f1.4 contemporary lens for APS-C cameras, and I want to once again say this is probably the best APS-C lens to get for content creation. Now, before I move on, if you listen very carefully to the music in the background, all the music, sound effects in my videos, in this video, are from Artlist. And Artlist are the sponsor for today's video. Because finding the right music and assets for your video can be such a challenge. And that's why I use Artlist for all of my content. They have a massive library of royalty-free music, sound effects, templates, and even stock footage. Seriously, it saved me so many hours of time and so much headache. It's so easy to find exactly the type of music and assets that fit your video, and you can even have AI suggest the best bit for you. Plus, Artlist Max Pro gives you access to their entire library and collections. And this is absolutely amazing for any content creator because you've got everything all in one place. So if you're tired of struggling to find the right assets and music for your videos, then click the link in the description below, head over to artlist.io and get 2 months extra free when you sign up for any annual plan. Join now and elevate your content to the next level. Now, I made a video on this a while ago back when I was still using Canon cameras, and I want to kind of circle back to this topic because I've picked up this lens once again quite recently, and I just want to reiterate the fact that I still think personally that this is probably the best, bold claim, the best content creation lens to get for APS-C cameras. So I've obviously got it this time for the Sony E mount so that it can fit my Sony ZV-E10, and that's what I'm using it with because that combo is an absolute beast. Not only is it a good kind of sturdy size, but it's also a lens that has an f1.4 aperture, meaning its widest open aperture is f1.4, allowing you to let in tons and tons of light. And what that lets you do is that lets you get that really nice shallow depth of field bokeh look in your footage. That also makes it really good for APS-C cameras to use in low light, because having that wide open aperture means, again, you're letting in lots of light in, and an APS-C sensor, which is slightly smaller and tends to be not as good as full frame cameras in low light, allows you to kind of then have that option of using those cameras in lower light situations, because by opening up the f1.4, you're going to let in additional amounts of light into that slightly smaller sensor, and that's going to give you better footage in low light situations. But that's not the only thing. I think overall this lens has performed so well against competition time and time again. I think the Sigma 16mm with its price, currently you can get one of these used at about £270, I think, which is sub £300 for a used Sigma 16mm in very, very good condition, is an absolute fantastic deal for a camera lens of its quality, because not only does it have that low aperture, it's also got crisp quality footage. It's a really good piece of glass and it has fantastic autofocus capabilities. So when you pair it with something like the Sony ZV-E10 or any of Sony's APS-C range cameras, you're going to get fantastic footage, fantastic photos, fantastic video out of this thing. Now here's some test footage that I can show you in a talking head scenario like this. So predominantly that's what I use my cameras for, is for talking head videos, but also a lot of B-roll. But let's just have a look at what it looks like in a talking head setting. You can see here the picture and the image quality looks absolutely fantastic, and it's almost indistinguishable from what I have filming right now, which is my Sony a7S III with the 20mm Viltrox lens. You can see wide open f1.4. It gives such a nice shallow depth of field with that nice bokeh look in the background. Again, it's wide open, meaning it's letting in that maximum amount of light, which is really good for exposure and just gives a really good look to your footage. And on top of that, you're getting that nice wide field of view, which is something that you want from your videos, especially if you're doing things like a talking head video like this one. You're not kind of taking up the entire frame of your camera. You've got a decent amount of background in the frame with you in the center, and that's essentially how it should be, really, in my opinion, when you're doing talking head videos like that. But not just for talking head videos, things like landscape videos or street photography, or even taking product shots or doing B-roll shots with this thing of all sorts. I think that it's a fantastic all-round lens to have on your camera. I'm not going to go on and on about it. If you want to see more details about this, then definitely check out the video that I did before. So today's video was just to reaffirm what I've already said about the Sigma 16mm, and just to say again that I think that this is the best lens for content creators to grab for their APS-C cameras even now in 2024. It's got great price, great build quality, great quality, and yes, it's a prime lens, so it's maybe not as versatile as having like a zoom lens like the Sigma 18 to 50mm, but that low aperture, you really just can't battle that. I think it's a fantastic overall lens, and I would highly recommend this as a lens to use with whatever APS-C camera that you can get this lens mount for. And I think this is actually a fantastic time to mention this because it's also coming out soon for Canon's RF range of lenses that Sigma are doing for their APS-C RF camera. So for something like the Canon R10 or the R50, you're going to be able to grab a Sigma 16mm for those cameras as well. And again, there you go, you've got a fantastic APS-C package. So not just for Sony, not just for Nikon, but also for Canon RF cameras, you're going to be able to grab this beauty of a lens and use it for any sort of content creation you want. And I doubt you're going to regret that. You're definitely not going to regret that. You will absolutely not regret that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative in some sense for you guys. If you are in two minds about whether to grab this lens or not, then I would definitely recommend grabbing this lens because it's an absolute beauty. And here's a secret, you can actually also use it for full frame cameras as well. If you want to grab it for a full frame camera, that's for the next video, so keep an eye out for that because I'll be showing you a small trick to use the Sigma 16mm for Sony full frame cameras. And if you're wondering why that's such a big issue, you're just gonna have to wait until the next video. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, leave any comments you have at all down in the comment section below, and until next time, this is Kai24 signing out.